What is going on, people? It's your boy B Monstrosity here for my second part of Hardcore Bootcamp, and basically we're going to go over class setups. Okay, now one thing I want to mention that I didn't have time to mention in the last video about your weapon is make sure that you're putting the appropriate weapon on the appropriate map. Like, for example, the Peacekeeper is a really good mid-range weapon, so make sure you put it in mid-range situations. You know, on the flip side of that, the SWAT 5.56, really good long range to mid-long range weapon, so make sure you're putting it in those situations. Don't be running up on Hijacked or the boat map with the SWAT 5.56 and expect that you're going to do well with it, because it most likely will not work out well for you. Okay? In general, higher fire rate weapons are good for closer range situations, whereas higher damage weapons are good for longer range situations. Okay, now let's go ahead and hop in these class setups. Now, you might have seen these before if you watched my previous videos, but I'll just go ahead and recap and try to get in more detail with it. Okay, now first of all, make sure you have a class setup like this that has blind eye on it, that has ghost on it, that is basically protecting you from just about everything. Make sure that, and I say again, make sure that you have a blind eye class setups, because if they're throwing up stealth choppers and escort drones and shit like this, you need something to fall back on. I think a lot of players out there do not have a class setup like this, so they just get tore up with stealth choppers and whatnot. And that's how you see those beastly ass gameplays where the stealth chopper is just going fucking nuts. Okay? Make sure you have a fallback set up. Alright? Now, this class right here pretty much protects me from everything. Yes, it is kind of sluggish, but I'm still getting protected. Okay? I got engineer, I got blind eye, I got ghost. It's covering me from just about every single corner that you could possibly think of. Alright, now you'll notice on my class setups I like rolling with the Perk 1 greed and Perk 3 greed. They're going to give me extra perks, so I'm going to take them. You know, a lot of people like using lethals and secondaries and tacticals, but I really just do not see a need for it. The way that I look at my class setups is, how is it going to get me more kills, or how is it going to get me less deaths? Okay? And I try to weigh that with all the options that I have here. So let's go through here. This is my typical class setup right here. Lightweight, hardline, cold-blooded, dexterity, extreme conditioning. Alright? Now, the reason that I'm running lightweight and hardline and no ghost or no blind eye on this class is because I generally roll with a bunch of murderers. I roll with HCU, and we generally don't give the enemy a chance to throw up UAVs or anything. And we're generally fighting over the kills that are out there. So, I have my extreme conditioning on so I could get to them quicker. Lightweight, make me more agile. And hardline, of course, because I'm trying to throw up swarms. Alright, now let's go over these Perk 1 class, Perk 1 slot, whatever. Alright, lightweight, love lightweight, even on assault rifles. You know, if you could be more mobile in the game, I think it's better. Okay, hardline, of course, if you're going after those high kill streaks, it's a must. It's an absolute must. Blind eye, of course, you have to have a class with blind eye on. I don't think you need to put on every class, but make sure that you have a class set up with that. Ghost, if you're running solo or with a team that's not spectacular, you might want to invest in Ghost here, because yes, enemies will throw up UAVs constantly, and it's not that hard to get. Flak jacket is pretty much useless in hardcore. I'm seeing some people rolling it, but I would really highly suggest that you just leave it the hell alone. I was a big flak jacket proponent in Black Ops 1, but in this game, it is just not worth it whatsoever. Let's get to class 2, toughness. Now, this is, I've seen a dude watches our videos, was asking me about toughness, and really, it's not worth it, okay? All it does is just reduce that flinch. So basically, if somebody has to kill you in 2 or more bullets, you're not going to be bouncing around whenever he's shooting at you. It may seem like, you know, you're getting away with murder, but really you're not. Because if you think about it, and probably about 96 to 75% of the time when you're playing hardcore, you're going to get dropped in 1 or 2 bullets. So that's not going to be enough time for you to actually, you know, react to somebody doing something to you. So really, I think that just leave toughness alone. It's really more of a core perk and it really doesn't have a place in hardcore, in my opinion. Cold-blooded is my go-to for every single class that I have, because it keeps you off of the target finders, which are a major nuisance in hardcore. You show up as a big red-ass triangle. So if you notice people just picking you off left and right, it might be because you don't have cold-blooded on and you are just showing up as a big red triangle. And if you're playing to get some beasts, you know, whenever they're up in the air support, you're showing up as a red triangle then also. So I'm a big proponent of cold-blooded here. Fast hands, people like Monkey like using fast hands to throw out C4 very quickly. I'm still all about cold-blooded. If you're running, you know, C4 or frag grenades or something like that, Scavenger might be an option for you too, because when you're running C4, you actually pick up another pouch every time that you run over one of those scavenger packets. So you might want to look into that. But generally, I get pretty high kills a lot of the times, and I don't generally have to pick up an enemy's weapon for the most part. So Scavenger is not really one of my favorites as far as the second tier perk goes. Hardwired, I've seen a lot of people use this, but I just don't see the advantage of having it on there and taking up that perk slot for the amount of times that people are going to throw up UAVs and EMPs. Just it seems like it's kind of a wasted perk, in my opinion. Okay, dexterity, I use it on every single one of my classes. If you run face to face to a dude, it's basically whoever draws first is going to win. So that dexterity is definitely going to help you out in that regard. Extreme conditioning, I like to run up and down the map constantly, so this is one of my favorite perks right here. Engineer, if you notice you're getting hit by a lot of bouncing betties and whatnot, be sure to have a class set up with engineer on and just react to the enemy's tactics, okay? Dead silence and awareness. I know Liquid Blitz loves these, but he plays on computer, and on Xbox these don't do a fucking thing, okay? I've just noticed that the sound quality on the Xbox is just not good enough to actually use these, okay? It's probably a completely different story for computer, but for Xbox, and I don't know what PS3, but I'm assuming it's the same, it's just not worth it. Maybe if you're playing hardcore search and destroy, you know, you might want to implement these, but on regular game modes that I play, like Kill Confirmed, it's just not worth it. Tactical mask, I've noticed a lot of people throwing out EMP grenades here lately, so this might actually be something that you want to stick on one of your classes. You know, maybe pair it up with dexterity and tactical mask. Okay. Now, real quick, I want to run over the attachments. Okay, reflex sight, you might want to use that if you need to be a little bit more accurate. Maybe you're not that accurate, so that would be a pretty good thing for you to put on. Laser sight, I notice a lot of people like this, and it does actually have its advantages. Whenever you pull up sight, it makes your hitbox smaller to where whenever you pull up sight real quick, you'll be on target faster. Okay, but I'm not a big fan of the laser sight just because my hip fire accuracy is pretty good as it is, so I really don't need that. The suppressor, when you put it on, it will drop your range down. Okay, it also makes your gun a little less accurate, believe it or not. So keep that in mind. I pretty much don't run suppressor on anything but maybe 2 guns in the whole game, the msmc and the SCAR. Just guns with long range to them, and they're already pretty accurate. Okay, fast mag, I love fast mag. Oh shit, I just dropped my shit. Okay, a good attachment setup on any weapon is the quick draw mag, or the quick draw grip, and the fast mag. I mean, that's pretty much, you could go to that and just about it'll work on any gun. Okay, the EOTech, it actually increases your accuracy by a little bit. Okay, so that's good. Foregrip, it increases your accuracy marginally. Extended mag, I believe in fast mag more than extended mag, so I would suggest staying away from that. Stock is great on certain weapons, like the PDW, for example. Quick draw and stock, love it. Target finder, yeah. A lot of people are known to be douchebags for playing with this, so I would steer clear, but you know, it could have its advantages at times. I know a lot of people like playing with it, and it's probably better than the EOTech, really. Okay, long barrel. I don't use this very often. Okay, because it just doesn't seem to have that much of an advantage compared to the other attachments. FMJ, people love this, but I don't particularly see the advantage in it. I would just rather put on a weapon that already has pretty high penetration. Select fire, really, if you have to use select fire on a weapon, you're better off just switching your weapon over and getting a better one. Okay, rapid fire drops down the range a shitload. Do not suggest you use this. MMS, it does take down your accuracy marginally. Okay, but the advantage of seeing campers around the corner, you know, that could counterbalance. But I'm not a big fan of it, but I see a lot of people playing with it. Okay, alright, now let's go over lethals. Frag grenade versus Semtex. I will take the frag all day long because I like throwing frags out of the starting gate, not in this game, but in other Call of Duties. Throwing frags out of the starting gate and hitting a spot where you know the enemy's going to rush to. Okay, so it has that. And then also, it can act like a Semtex if you just hold it in for a few seconds. If you practice this enough, you can hold the frag grenade in for long enough to where when you throw it into a window, it can explode as soon as it goes through that window. So if you are playing with one of these frags or Semtex, I highly suggest you practice with the frag a little while and get it down, and you will love it, especially in the opening gate where you can get an easy 1-2 kills right out of the starting gate. Combat Axe is fun, period. Claymore versus Bouncing Betty. Claymore wins all day long as long as you have it set up correctly. Make sure when you set it up, you do not protrude the red sensors out into an open area. You want to pull it back away from the doorway to where whenever they turn into that doorway, it's too late for them. Okay? Now, I really don't suggest you using the Bouncing Betty or the Claymore just because of the engineer perk. They could just walk right through it. So that's pretty much a false sense of security in my opinion. That's why I don't run with them. C4 is fun as shit. Remember that if you run Scavenger, you can pick up another C4 pouch. And the reason why people like using C4 instead of a grenade or a Semtex is because it has a wider blast radius. Okay? Tactical, if you're picking between one of these concussion flashbangs, EMPs wins all day long because it's multi-purpose. It'll take out sentries, it'll take out, you know, AGRs if you throw out there 2 of them, but really it's better than the flashbang and the concussion because it still will concussion and, you know, enemies at the same time. Shock charges, they suck, and I'm not a big fan of them, but yeah, anyways, smoke grenade, pretty much useless. Sensor grenade, useless. Black hat, I've seen a couple people use this, but it's pretty much useless. Trophy system if you're running around with a bunch of fucking noob tube assholes. And tactical insertion, which is pretty much useless unless you are a booster, which in that case I will shoot you in the ass. Secondaries, we all know how I feel about the pistols. They're good fun, but they're really not useful for if you're trying to wreck shop. The executioner sucks. Cap 40 is extremely fun playing with when you have the dualies. B23R is not that great with the dualies, but it's very accurate. Tag 45, not very accurate. 5.7 is probably my favorite pistol. These are for the shooting down streak badasses, and I'm pretty sure this is the best one, although I don't use it at all, so you might want to talk to somebody else about these. These are fun. And that is pretty much it for this video, people. I'm trying to keep them as short as possible so we can go ahead and get it out of the way and get to the tactics of things. Hope you guys like this. If you did, be sure to hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe to HCU. And if you want to come play with us, just hit us up on Xbox or PS3, depending on who you're talking about. Alright, peoples. Peace the motherfucker out.